Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I like to discuss Michael Gove's latest nonsense in front of a committee of MPs hearing evidence about the government's capability of managing the union, but in reality a lot of Brexit questions. That would be the union we still have, that is under serious threat as a result of throwing away the one we used to have. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So, as always with the Conservatives and with Brexit, there is the saying that comes screaming into the conversation all the time: never ascribe to malice that which may be explained by incompetence. But the populist government that we have in place are rewriting all the rules. Yes, almost everything they get wrong could be explained by incompetence, but only if you believe that the government are genuinely trying to do what's best for the country, within their own warped worldview at least, and just failing badly. There are some politicians who do that. See, I would put Margaret Thatcher in that camp. She had a worldview that just didn't match reality, but she was consistent with that view. She believed in it. Johnson is not. Most of his cabinet are not. They're not motivated by doing what's best for the country, even if they are ultimately proven wrong. We are striking trade deals that are actively bad for the UK. Ministers know this. They don't even bother to deny the facts in interviews. They simply can't understand why we have a problem with the trade imbalances in the other side's favour that each one is bringing. You know, the EU deal is better for the EU than it is for us. The Japan deal is better for Japan than it is for us. The proposed Australia deal is better for Australia than it is for us. And the reason they can't understand what the problem is they don't see harm to the UK economy as a problem. There are absolutely acts from this government that are born of malice. Refusing to follow the scientific advice when it comes to managing the pandemic cannot be explained by incompetence in trying to preserve the economy, because we harm both health and the economy by doing what we're doing. The dog pile on the BBC over the Diana interview isn't caused by moral outrage, but because they see an opportunity to make it a state mouthpiece for themselves. They're talking about the need for urgent reform. That reform will not be in our interest any more than their planting of sympathetic figures into key roles was not either. But there are also acts of genuine incompetence, things that they did not intend or even realise would happen. And what's happening with, say, the Northern Ireland Protocol is likely one of those areas. Sure, they didn't actually really believe that checks would be unnecessary. Even Johnson wouldn't believe in Jacob Rees-Mogg's technological solutions, much less Michael Gove. But it is possible that they thought they might genuinely gain more leverage over the EU with the threats of violence that they are stoking in Northern Ireland. It is just possible that they fundamentally do not understand the single market and so believed that the impossible was just a matter of political will. A will that they thought they could break with civil war. Michael Gove was telling MPs last week that he was working to ensure that every government department understands the workings of the protocol and can communicate them to businesses. You what, mate? So let me get this right. So he's saying that 19 months after the protocol was formed, 16 months since it was signed into international law, and 5 months since it needed implementing, only now is he seeing it as his job to make sure that government departments even know what it is. He's going around the government departments now. Oh, let me tell you about this fantastic new thing, the Northern Ireland Protocol. Oh, we don't really know much about that. Do tell. That would suggest that government departments did not know what it was and what it entailed before now. So how were they supposed to implement it then? And the ignorance goes deeper than civil servants tasked with making it work. An MP on the committee expressed concern that David Frost, who's the guy who negotiated it, admitted last week that ministers didn't understand the very protocol that they had delivered. You know, this MP said that they were shocked at the level of ignorance of ministers at the dispatch box concerning Northern Ireland. In response, Gove said that there had been a tendency to chuck anything related to Northern Ireland to the Northern Ireland office and not involve other departments, but that things were changing. Oh, that's good, that's nice. It's nice to know that other government departments are actually paying attention to the fact that Northern Ireland is part of the UK. And when challenged about the threat to the Union, Gove fell back on the usual government line of blaming the EU. This line absolutely killed me. He said, I'm going to quote this, "There are folk in the EU who have a tendency to see the Good Friday Agreement just in terms of North-South relations, and they haven't appreciated both the balance within Northern Ireland and the importance of East-West relations as well." Hang on a minute. Is Gove attacking the EU for not involving itself in East-West relations? That's what he said. But this East-West, I mean, let's be clear about what that is. That's Northern Ireland and Britain. In other words, the UK. Didn't Brexiteers like Gove tell the EU to piss off out of internal UK matters? Because that East-West is the UK and the UK. So that's internal UK matters. Why is he now saying that the EU should be interfering in internal UK matters? Which are those East-West relations? In fact, they sold Brexit as removing any EU involvement at all from what goes on in the UK. So it's a bit of a cheek to now say that this is all because the EU are not involving themselves in internal UK matters. Unfortunately, I didn't see any reports of an MP pointing this out. It's a bit of a shame, really. He was also asked about the prospect of a border poll. Now, an inevitable question when you consider that the current situation in Northern Ireland is not sustainable long term. Everyone on all sides agrees on that point. But there are only three ways to make it sustainable. One, you make the Northern Ireland Protocol work. Now, that is the position of the EU and that is the position of the United States. Now, I could say that there is resistance to this from the government, but it is actually hard to tell. Again, what is malice, what is incompetence? We are constantly getting reports on the ground that the government are genuinely working very, very hard on the systems to get the protocol working. So we know that the effort is going in. But the public rhetoric is one of opposition to it. Now, it could be that the government are just belly aching about it to hide the real work going on so that when they can implement it properly, they'll pretend they won some grand concession from the EU. That being said, the hardline unionists will always oppose it, because even a fully functioning protocol still produces trade barriers between Britain and Northern Ireland. There is no way of avoiding that with different customs arrangements on either side of that internal border. So then the second option is to have the same customs arrangements, rejoin the customs union and single market. Now, this is certain at some point in the future and would save a lot of heartache if it would just happen sooner rather than later. However, I'm quite sure that there is genuine, resolute resistance to this in the government. So then the third option remains reunification. Now, this isn't actually a solution. It's an option, not a solution. It doesn't solve either the trade or the political problems. It doesn't solve the trade problems because the only trade problems that exist are between Britain and Northern Ireland, not Northern Ireland Republic of Ireland. And it's also only one way. Reunification would actually make the trade problems worse because the protocol would indeed end, and then the more severe UK to EU borders with full checks would be set up. Plus the trade barriers would exist in both directions. And the political problems wouldn't go away either because you would delight one half of the population, but you'd piss off the other half. But it is an inevitable question to ask, to which Gove responded with two things. He said, even Dublin has talked of now not being the right time for a border poll, which is certainly true. I saw recently the Irish government make clear that they don't anticipate something like this for a decade. And secondly, that the majority of people in Northern Ireland vote for parties in favour of the UK. Well, a majority of Stormont seats are certainly given over to those at present, but next year could be different, especially with a DUP that has made further moves to alienate people in Northern Ireland. This will perhaps lead to another genuinely unexpected Brexit result for the Conservatives. So although much of the way they are dealing with Brexit and everything else is almost certainly born of malicious intent, they knew about the consequences, they went ahead anyway, I think there are definitely things that have run out of their control. Hardly surprising given how most government ministers are completely work shy and how little respect our Prime Minister has for the details. Wouldn't actually be as bad if he at least surrounded himself with experts, but he prefers people who don't bring his mood down by talking about reality. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, don't forget to click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, please also click the Patreon link for details. And until next time, I'll see you later.